incarcerating more people, right, per capita than any other nation in the world.
All right, family. So we are waiting.
We also have a very different kind of policing.
We are waiting on the verdict.
Oh,
excuse me.
More violent, I think.
In the divine name is supreme being peace. Shalom to everyone. Hope everyone is at peace.
What I do think that we
and
to see, and this actually exists.
We are waiting on the verdict right now, the Derek Chauvin trial. All right. Jury reached the verdict in the trial of former police officer Derek Chauvin charged in the death of George Floyd. We are waiting on the verdict right now. All right.
At the center of how we engage.
So let's see what happens, family.
It's not at the center of, or a carceral state.
I'll be right back.
Center of how things work within this country. That if we have a social problem, the people that we call shouldn't necessarily be the police, because the police aren't trained in handling these kinds of things. And I think it's not simply the George Floyd moment that drove us there, but instead in the ensuing months that were subsequent to the George Floyd moment, proved that the United States and policing had a significant problem that couldn't be solved even after a man was killed on television. So I think part of what we're beginning to see is that in a nation that still continues to kill Black people, we have to find imaginative and creative ways to really solve this problem.
All right, Leah Wright-Rigor, thanks for that. Again, the jury in the trial against Derek Chauvin has now reached a verdict. After 10.5 hours of deliberating, they will determine whether Derek Chauvin will be convicted of killing George Floyd. We're awaiting that verdict now at any minute. Here's David Muir.
This is an ABC News special report. The death of George Floyd. Derek Chauvin on trial. Now reporting, David Muir.
Good afternoon. We're coming on the air at this hour because a verdict has been reached in the trial of former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin. Closing arguments, of course, just 24 hours ago from both sides. The jury then given instructions late yesterday. They began deliberating. And again this morning, continuing with those deliberations. And now their decision expected at any moment in Minneapolis. Of course, we know that Chauvin is charged with the death of George Floyd, the country watching, the world watching those images. Chauvin with his knee to George Floyd's neck. It prompted an almost immediate reckoning in this country on race, justice, and policing in America. The prosecution focused on those 9 minutes, 29 seconds, and in their closing argument, reminding the jury of the 9-year-old girl, one of the witnesses, the bystanders, who said she heard paramedics 9 minutes later saying, "Get off of him." They said, "Believe what you see." The defense saying it was about more than those 9 minutes, trying to sow doubt in the jury's minds. The jury deliberating for 10.5 hours, 4 hours last night, 6.5 hours today. Chauvin facing charges of second-degree unintentional murder, third-degree murder, and second-degree manslaughter. We heard his voice in that courtroom when he invoked his Fifth Amendment right last week not to take the stand in his own defense. Today, we learned President Biden called George Floyd's family yesterday. The president suggesting today that the evidence is, quote, overwhelming, and saying, quote, "I'm praying that the verdict is the right verdict." And the president adding he was only sharing those words because he knew the jury was sequestered and had begun their work. About 2,000 National Guard members on duty in Minneapolis, police in cities across the country on alert as well.
2,000 National Guard
standing by with us this afternoon.
2,000. What do you think they're expecting? If they have summoned 2,000 National Guard.
Abrams to start our coverage here.
Peace, Quan. What's good?
Wisdom. You know, they say it's
I don't know. Don't put that energy out there, Quan. They ain't gonna slap him on the wrist.
From the jury, no confusion.
I'm not sure about this one.
No notes sent to the judge. A relatively short amount of time to deliberate.
I'm whipping up a potion right here. We're gonna make sure.
Right now, first of all, because a hung jury is
off
the table.
We're gonna do some
voodoo. Know that this jury is
we're gonna do some witchcraft. We're gonna do
that they didn't ask
some more. We're gonna do some stuff.
Would again suggest that it's more likely, if you were sort of following the way these things go, that it's going to be the higher charge in this case. Why? Because if it was going to be
2,000 National Guard,
let's say, for example, you would expect that there might have been more debate about the definitions and discussions about third-degree murder versus manslaughter, etc. For a high-profile case, this is a pretty fast verdict. Some people will tell you, wait a second, 10 hours plus, that's not so fast. that's true. But in high profile cases, when the world is watching, the jurors typically want to cross the T's and dot the I's and make it clear to the world that they very carefully considered the evidence. So the fact that they have already come back here with so little coming from the jury has got to be very frightening news for Derek Chauvin right now.
All right, Dan Abrams with us as we await this verdict. Dan, stick with us here. I want to bring Sunny Hostin into this conversation, a former prosecutor herself, ABC News legal analyst, of course, co-host of The View. And Dan makes a good point there, Sunny, about these jurors obviously knowing the weight of this case and that the nation is watching them. And I just want to remind our viewers at home what Judge Cahill said when he was delivering instructions to the jurors. He said, "Do not let bias, prejudice, passion, sympathy, or public opinion influence your decision," and warning them not to consider what consequences their verdict might have. And the fact that they've deliberated for such a short window, what does that signal to you?
Well, conventional wisdom does tell you that fast verdicts hint at agreement. And I will tell you that in all of the cases that I tried, and there were many, especially in the criminal context, what you want as a prosecutor is a fast verdict, because when there are no questions, when there are no clarifications asked by a jury for jury instructions, when you have nothing to read from the jury.
All right, family, we're patiently waiting for this verdict.
That there is a full agreement. I am very surprised, actually, that they
white,
reached
multiracial,
an
white,
in
black,
such
white,
a high-profile
black,
case
multiracial,
with
white,
45
black,
witnesses,
white.
in
Five
just
men,
a
7
over
women,
10 hours. That
20
is
to 60
very
years old. Damn.
unusual.
4 black,
In a
6 white,
case
2
like
multiracial.
this with 12 jurors. Sometimes
It
in a
always
civil case, yes,
makes me cringe when they say
you get fast
multiracial.
verdicts, but in this
What
kind
race?
of case, it is very unusual. I actually was expecting many questions. I was expecting some questions about legal clarification, jury instructions, clarifications. And I was actually, David, also expecting what we call the Allen charge, which is, okay,
Aisha Jackson, I
understand
hear
that
you.
you are stuck. I understand that there's disagreement, but I want you to go back and do your best and come to an agreement. I was fully expecting something like that. And obviously that did not happen. The jury has reached an agreement. That's unusual.
Sunny Hostin with us this afternoon. Sunny, underscoring that point that there was not one question from the jury, not one point of contention or query to the judge about confusion over any of the charges, which, as Sunny suggests, points to agreement within the jury, obviously, given the short amount of time that they were deliberating. You're looking at a live picture of Minneapolis. We should mention that those images from inside the courtroom, that was during the course of the trial and the closing arguments. There is no live stream yet up and running from that courtroom. And we should also remind all of you at home that the reason there's a live stream in this case is because we find ourselves not only in this moment, this conversation, this racial reckoning in this country, but also in the middle of a pandemic. The judge deciding to make that rare choice to live stream this trial because he knew that members of the community and members of George Floyd's family would not allow to be in that courtroom given the restrictions on the number of people they're actually allowing inside that court. But in turn, in deciding to live stream the trial, that means the country can watch, the world can watch.
Wow.
And they are waiting.
All right, so family, let's keep in mind, we have to be
who's been on the ground in Minneapolis since this case
focused.
began. And Alex,
All right,
temperature
we got to
in
protect
Minneapolis,
ourselves.
I know it seems relatively calm, although the National Guard on scene, and they are preparing for this verdict as well.
There is a reason why they have 2,000 National Guard. All right, there's a reason why all around the country, places downtown are boarded up.
Most of the businesses are boarded up. People just did not want to take any chances. We remember those.
He's right. People are just not taking any chances. They don't want to be out.
And people are afraid. They want to be ready for any.
Yeah, I'm sipping on this elixir. Yep. I'm gonna need some. As one of the officers said, I'm gonna need some superhuman strength. They trying to paint George Floyd like he was some gorilla with some superhuman strength. Wow.
They were seemed inquisitive and paying attention to the experts who testified. And, it's really hard to read the tea leaves in a situation like this.
All right, so we're waiting, fam.
yesterday, just in covering trials. Yesterday, the jury started deliberating very late, and they stayed an extra hour. Even after a long day, they stayed an extra hour. And this morning, they started deliberating about 90 minutes early. And to me, that seemed to indicate that perhaps they were close to reaching something and wanted to work on it. And now we know they have reached some sort of decision, and we're going to learn that decision very soon. And as we await that decision, David, I think about my conversation with Terrence Floyd, George Floyd's brother. And I remember he was in so much pain right after this incident happened. And one of the things he said to me was that seeing this case through, all through a conviction, was something that his family wanted.
I need you on my CD, G.
Until they saw it, so they could have an answer to that very soon.
We the messengers. Well, got my phone number. Hit me up, 678-557-2919.
Not far from the scene of where this all began to unfold about a year ago, Memorial Day last year. Of course, the corner of Chicago and 38th Street there in front of the Cup Foods in South Minneapolis, George Floyd Square, as it's now called. I want to bring in Lindsay Davis because, Lindsay, you and I have talked so much about this case. We've been on the air together all along the way, and it's so rare that this country takes a sort of deep breath.
Yo, seriously, y'all better start mixing this potion like I'm mixing it.
This is one of those moments.
Y'all gonna need some ginseng, some other stuff to be on alert,
We were all struck a year ago,
to be clear, to be focused.
Protests and conversations over the course of the year, the diversity in the faces of the people out in the streets.
Y'all better take some serious mind brain tonic.
Somewhat reassuring, I know, to the Floyd family as well, to see the diversity of the people supporting them and this conversation about policing and justice in America.
Matter of fact, I need 2 doses of this.
Holding their breath here, David. You can perhaps hear the helicopters above. I know that we just saw the crowds outside of the Cup Foods at 38th in Chicago, but just a kind of scene set for you here, just a few blocks away from the courthouse in downtown Minneapolis. It's eerily quiet. You know, there are a few cars, but very few people out on the road. I went for a walk today.
Y'all want some serious minds brain tonic? Go to my website, www.professorgriff.me.
So what do we think? And he said, I think if they come back quick, we got him. And he had a personal pride. He was in
I'm trying to feel, I'm trying to keep my pulse on my fingers on the pulse of what white people are feeling and thinking right now. And from what I'm hearing, there's a lot of white people like, yo, yeah, dude gotta go.
People from all walks of life. You have 3 who are in their 20s, ranging in age. You have 1 woman who goes into her 60s, and 6 who identify as people of color. 3 of them black men. You have one who's a social worker, accountant, a chemist, a banker, a nurse. And we did get a lot of
fam.
during the jury selection about their thoughts on racial
While we're waiting,
justice and criminal justice. There was a white
Sonia Carney, thank you very much. Really appreciate you, sis, for the donation. Deuce Smith, what's good with the 11? All right.
Could have been me. And so going into this, they allowed these
Deuce or Ducci?
diverse opinions and backgrounds and
Ducey?
experiences and
Ducci?
perspectives. And then you had just a few days.
Maybe you can help me out with that.
Before the trial culminated, the shooting, the fatal shooting of Dante Wright, which the defense obviously wanted them to be sequestered and not hear that, but the judge allowed them to hear that, and so you have to wonder, were they at all impacted by that, and were they able
They're going to be impacted by it.
Incident, or did they look at the historical injustice of all this? Additionally, they knew
Then the lieutenant getting pepper sprayed in the face, man. Yeah. All right, family. We are waiting for the verdict. I don't want to start a conversation, then we have to stop. Derek Chauvin verdict reached in the trial over George Floyd's death. I did. What's good with you? Peace, niece.
We'll be checking back in with you over the course of this afternoon. These are live pictures on the ground there in South Minneapolis. Relative calm, as you can see, in this community and in so many communities across this country. I think people with their smartphones have heard that there is a verdict. The judge revealing that,
all right,
and saying that the verdict would be delivered in about an hour. That was a little more than an hour ago. So we are expecting that jury at any time.
So this verdict can come through any minute now.
Of the members of that jury, and I know we have that graphic that actually breaks down members of the jury, if we have a moment to bring that back up, just to help folks at home understand that the jury selection was something that both sides so carefully spent time on in this case.
So what did Maxine Waters say, family?
5 men, 7 women, ages from 20 to 60 years old, 4 black jurors, 6
What did Maxine Waters say? Yeah, I got sensitive ears right now. My family's out. You know, you get that concerned kind of vibe. You know, you sit like, okay. I call it a healthy paranoia. Hold on, family. Let's call it a healthy paranoia. All right, family. So what did Maxine Waters tell us? Keep it up, Ernie. Maxine Waters basically was like, let's turn it up. Let's not slow down now, because this verdict, they could say anything.
Today, both sides begin closing arguments as ex-cop Derek Chauvin stands accused of murdering George Floyd. This verdict could have a powerful impact on police reform. And apparently,
Can y'all hear this?
Maxine Waters took to the streets and spoke to protesters, I guess, in Minnesota to talk about what she thinks needs to happen. And then I'll come back and read exactly what she said so we're clear. Go ahead.
What should protesters do?
Well, we got to stay on the street, and we've got to get more active. We've got to get more confrontational. We've got to make sure that they know that we mean business.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, someone had asked Maxine, as a black man, I feel like nothing changes. George Floyd is waking people up, yet nothing happened despite the rhetoric. What difference needs to happen? If nothing happens, then we know we've got not only to stay in the street, we've got to fight for justice. But I'm very hopeful we'll get a guilty. After 4 years of real race baiting,
All right. I don't trust the aunt Goldbergs, the aunt Whoopi Goldbergs of the world. All right, family. So we are still waiting on the verdict. That was Maxine Waters when she took to the street. And wait, if the woman is 80 years old and she out in them streets putting in that work, the rest of y'all should be quiet unless y'all gonna match her frequency. All right, unless you're gonna put in the work on that level and greater. The woman is 80. So come on, family.
That the cause of death was the knee and it was unreasonable. And so they listened to all the medical evidence. They listened to all of the evidence from the police officers. They cut to the chase. I'm sure they did consider the different elements that the judge talked about as far as the second degree, third degree.
Okay. That's understandable. We understand that. So Maxine Waters is out on the front lines. That may not be your choice of the way you protest or the way you go about doing what you do. That may not even be your thing. That's Maxine's thing, and Maxine is doing the damn thing. Now the question becomes, what are you doing? You said, what do I think the verdict will be? Personally speaking, I think the verdict is going to be guilty right across the board. Yeah, because if they was deliberating and they came back this quick, yeah, just guilty right across the board. Latine, no, you said not guilty? Nah, I don't know about that, bro. This is so sick, man. Some of the stuff I see that come across. Woman launches GoFundMe to help repay the PPP loan. Whoopi Goldberg's opinion is biased based on who she's married to. All right. Wow, it's not good. Fox News panel reaches the judge's rebuke. Reacts to judge's rebuke of Maxine Waters' comments. Yeah, we're just not hearing. Yeah, okay, well. All right. The GOP rep says Maxine Waters incited riots with comments. Her comments weren't that. Wow. Okay. So fuck Donald Trump's comments for the last 4 years. We're just gonna focus in on Maxine Waters' comments, right? So you blasting that track, the verdict? Hold on for a second, fam. Let's see.
Should have resisted, that he was on drugs, that he was somehow at fault. But they've got a number of supporters, people who have been in these streets. And so Flonus Floyd, the brother of George Floyd, has said that he...
Right, you're right, Quan. The same GOP that did absolutely nothing when Donald Trump incited riots on January 6th.
Really, David, for this family, for months now, they have watched this country go through a racial reckoning. They've watched this country change, and many industries change because of this racial reckoning. But they truly feel that today, with this verdict, that today is their day of reckoning. David?
Kenneth Moulton in Minneapolis, and the family all along has asked for peace and calm across this country, something Terrence Floyd told me almost a year ago in Brooklyn, that they were deeply moved by the diversity of the faces.
Let's see what happens, fam.
The country,
you see how much the gorilla glue girl got vibrant. I'm in the wrong line of work. Then the gorilla glue. How much did she get?
Steve, as you and I were on the air yesterday during these closing arguments, we heard the prosecution say.
I mean, she got to spend that money bald headed, but how much she get?
Prosecution that this is the case of Derek Chauvin, one lone officer in this particular.
I know Dolly Griffin, they were reaching for anything to get an appeal or a mistrial.
But this case is about Derek Chauvin, they said. And what was fascinating in this trial.
Come on. I want to hear this. She got bands? Like, how many bands? Get out of here, man. She had close to 1 million. Last I saw, it was $25,000. Enough to buy a brand new scalp. A Benz and some new teeth. She balling with a different wig on now. God damn. Dolly Griffin said enough to buy a whole lot of wigs. I know that's the lone wolf talk. But yeah, we're not going for that. We know it's racism. It's white supremacy is what they do. Kill black people. That ain't Professor Griffin inciting anything. That's the truth. So she bubbling over you. She says she was never suing. but she got stacks. Damn. He said she might be able to get a man wig. All right. Well, they're selling fake sideburns and baby hair, so she got a Michael Jackson wig. Okay. Let's see. Hold on, fam.
It was on camera, and that officer was not acquitted in state court. And in fact, when we polled the jury, you know, we expected there was probably one holdout, and that's what the defense in this case is hoping for, just one. But in that case, there were two, and one of the holdouts was African American. So you just never know what you're going to get from these cases, what the jury is hearing, how they process the information. And, you know, one thing
I don't see how in any of these cases. Come on, you killing me. Benjamin Phillips, you said she got $200,000. Y'all killing me. How much did the Gorilla Glue chick get? I need to see this again. Somebody else need to validate that. 200,000. Nah. Nah, bro. She got 200,000 for real? So what city are y'all in? Can y'all put it up on the screen so I can see what city y'all in? I'm in the ATL. All right, but I'm about 20 minutes from downtown. All right. It do pop off over here, but not like that. So I'm just going to see. She got too much money, Rashawn said. Okay. You in Atlanta? Chocolate Girl Wonder? Okay. I'm in the ATL too. You in Houston? Houston in the building. Raleigh, North Carolina. Vegas on deck. We got the District of Columbia, DC, the 10 by 10 square miles. Beantown, Boston in the building. PA. South Florida. Cleveland, Ohio. Raleigh, Norfolk. Wichita. God damn, Dwayne Ross. You from Wichita, Kansas? Oakland, the town. All right. Cincinnati in the building. Central Florida. Sin City in the building. Switzerland. All the way from Switzerland. All right, Columbia, South Carolina. Memphis Bleak in the building. Kansas City, KC. Juliet, Illinois. Milwaukee to Houston and Black again. College Park by the airport, goddamn. You all them goddamn College Park, my nigga. All right, PA. Philly. All right. Cincinnati, Ohio. New York. All right. Paris, Texas. Bubbling over you is from Mars. Damn. Kansas City, Missouri. Shabaka the Rebel from PA. From the Cape to the coast. Youngstown, Ohio. St. Louis. Buffalo, New York, where it's cold in a month. East Louis, East St. Louis. Or East Louis? Never heard of that shit. Australia. All right. Detroit, UK in the building. D145, what's good? Detroit, Nigeria, London, Baltimore, where you got to be more careful, be more. LA, Lower Alabama, LA, the BX, the Bronx is in the building. We got Connecticut, Las Vegas, East St. Louis. DC, Anthony K. Mohammed. Assalamu alaikum, good brother. Detroit in the building. Damn, Detroit is in here thick, like on deck. New Jersey, Newark, New Jersey, Ohio, the CPT and the CT, Philly, yeah, something got to give with this verdict, fam. Ontario, Canada. Yeah, you got to convince me, man. Mr. C. Solomon, you got to convince me of Canada. I'm not convinced yet. All right. Give thanks. The glamorous hippie. I'll definitely tell him. Peace, queen. All right. Another person from Detroit. Damn, Detroit. I guess my work in Detroit paid off because I was in Detroit every year for the last 20 years. Map Town. All right. Jamaica, Queens. All right. Richmond, VA. The bottom, Miami in the building. Malik Muhammad, 798. Good Life Grind, Locked and Loaded. Got you, bro. Albuquerque, New Mexico. All right, Spectrum City, Hempstead Movie Theater. Damn, Lamont, you going way back to the Hempstead Movie Theater, know what I mean? Spectrum City days. Charleston, South Carolina. Mook, Montana. What's up, man? Tempe, Arizona. I dig Tempe, man. Hot as fuck, but yeah, Tempe's all right with me, except for the racist cops. All right. So, yo, that's the area you from? Kale is GMO? Bro, we asking people where you from. You talking about kale is poison. Dontre's from the DMV. Yo, upgraded turbo plant-based, bro. We're not even talking about that, son. The verdict hasn't even been read yet, and you like wildin'. That's critical, son. Yeah, right. Kale for real, bro. Kale that grows out of the ground. How's kale poison? But anyway, I don't know what dude talking about. We're gonna ignore dude. UK, New Jersey, Morgantown, WV. What's that? West Virginia? Morgantown, Hampton, VA. Rita, what's good? Dean Ryan. I'm all right, Dean. How you doing? I should be asking you that, man. Last time I heard from you, you like smoked a joint, and I ain't heard from you in 6 months. Are you still high? No, I'm only playing, bro. What's good with you, Dean? Dean is the gentleman that kind of getting on Alex Jones's nerves to have Professor Griff on Alex Jones's show. Thanks, Dean. Dean is a hard worker. Oh, shoot. Somebody text me and said they about to announce it.
Very calm scenes across this country, as we have mentioned here. No one wants to get ahead of themselves. We have no idea.
You want to take a verdict poll bubbling over you?
All we know at this
All right, I say guilty right across the board. What y'all say?
5 p.m. Eastern is that the judge in this case, Judge Cahill in Minneapolis, has revealed that the jurors have reached a verdict in the trial of former Minneapolis police officer.
My brother from the UK, greetings to you. Oloyi. Trina says guilty. It's about to be the power out, a verdict. Michael G says guilty. Renee Brooks says guilty across the board. Anjanette Webster says guilty. Guilty on all counts. Dolly Griffin, guilty, 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 guilty. That's what I said, guilty right across the board. I mean, the prosecution came with it, man. Damn, I was like, yeah, I was like, shit, I felt guilty after that shit. I was like, damn. Yeah, bro. I was just like, yeah. All right, they said they was going to announce it out.
That's right, David. And I'd have to tell you, when you all alluded to the videotape, as Steve Osunsami talked about, that was so much clearer and so much more impactful this time. Yesterday, watching those closing arguments and seeing so much of...
They can find him guilty on one damn charge. Just put him in the population with everybody else. Yeah. Hold up.
Something about that tape that just struck at everyone. And I think while we all...
I was even taken aback. But you see, I am John Watson. That's where you come in, bro. Even if they gave him 3 years, he got to come back out. I'm just saying. And if he just so happened to get hit by some shit falling out of a plane or something, Delta Flight 149 to fucking Houston somewhere or something. Anyway. Family. Hold on. Let's see.
Family watching all of this all over again. And that's the family of George Floyd. And Deborah, I'm curious, you know, a year later with the context of all of the reporting now, you know, that 9-minute video spoke volumes just by what we saw in the video, but given the context of the reporting.
I know it's been a year since the tape of George Floyd, of Derek Chauvin murdering George Floyd. But every time you watch it, it's like, fuck. Yeah, man. Come on, fam. We still waiting. I don't know how much longer they gonna give me on IG over here. All right, we're waiting, family. Still waiting on the verdict. Guilty on all counts. Guilty across the board. Guilty, I hope. Guilty with an appeal. Nope. Guilty. Culture, coloring, work, Inc. We love you too. Trina Watson. Judge is seated. It's oh shoot. Hold on. Here we go.
All right, for the jury.
All right.
All right, please be seated. Members of the jury, I understand you have a verdict.
Your hands shouldn't sweat. Just keep it calm.
Members of the jury, I will now read the verdicts as they will appear in the permanent records of the 4th Judicial District.
Keep it G.
State of Minnesota, County of Hennepin, District Court, 4th Judicial District. State of Minnesota Plaintiff versus Derek Michael Chauvin, Defendant. Verdict, Count 1. Court file number 27, CR 20-12646. We, the jury, in the above entitled matter as to Count 1, unintentional second-degree murder while committing a felony, find the defendant guilty. This verdict agreed to this 20th day of April 2021 at 1:44 p.m. Signed, juror foreperson, juror number 19. Same caption, verdict count 2. We, the jury, in the above entitled matter as to Count 2, third-degree murder, perpetrating an eminently dangerous act, find the defendant guilty. This verdict agreed to this 20th day of April 2021 at 1:45 p.m. Signed by jury foreperson, juror number 19. Same caption, verdict count 3. We, the jury, in the above entitled matter as to Count 3, second-degree manslaughter, culpable negligence, creating an unreasonable risk, find the defendant guilty. This verdict agreed to this 20th day of April 2021
right across the board
at 1:45 p.m. Jury foreperson 019. Members of the jury, I'm now going to ask you individually if these are your true and correct verdicts. Please respond yes or no. Juror number 2, are these your true and correct verdicts?
Yes.
Juror number 9, are these your true and correct verdicts?
Yes.
Juror number 19, are these your true and correct verdicts?
Yes.
Juror number 27, are these your true and correct
Who's jury
verdicts?
number 19? Juror number 19.
Juror number 44, are these your true and correct verdicts?
Yes.
Juror number 52, are these your true and correct verdicts?
Yes.
Juror number 55, are these your true and correct verdicts?
Yes.
Juror number 79, are these your true and correct verdicts?
Yes.
Juror number 85, are these your true and correct verdicts?
Yes.
Juror number 89, are these your true and correct verdicts?
Yes.
Juror number 91, are these your true and correct verdicts?
Yes.
Juror number 92, are these your true and correct verdicts?
Yes.
Are these your verdicts? So say you one, so say you all.
Yes.
Members of the jury, I find that the verdicts as read reflect the will of the jury and will be filed accordingly. I have to thank you on behalf of the people of the state of Minnesota for not only jury service, but heavy duty jury service. What I'm going to ask you
He
to
ain't
do
gonna
now
cry.
is to follow
He
the
a
deputy
demon.
back
He ain't got that in
into
him.
the room, and I will join you in a few minutes to answer your questions and to advise you further. So all rise for the jury. All right, be seated. With the guilty verdicts returned, we're going to have Blakely, you may file a written argument as to Blakely factors within 1 week. The court will issue findings on the Blakely factors, the factual findings, 1 week after that. We'll order a PSI immediately returnable in 4 weeks. And we will also have a briefing on, after you get the PSI, 6 weeks from now, and then 8 weeks from now, we will have sentencing. We'll get you the exact dates
8 weeks?
in a scheduling order. Is there a motion on behalf of the state?
Your Honor, the state would move to have the court revoke the defendant's bail and remand him into custody pending sentencing.
Bail is revoked, bond is discharged, and the defendant is remanded to the custody of the Hennepin County Sheriff. Anything further? All right. Thank you.
So there you have it. The jury in Hennepin County in Minneapolis finding Derek Chauvin guilty on all 3 counts: second-degree unintentional murder, third-degree murder, and second-degree manslaughter. Guilty in all 3. You can see him being led away there.
I don't even know any police officers, man, that
you heard the state request of the
saying what
judge
this dude did
that bail
was,
be revoked,
except these
and
stupid
that
ass
he be
police
taken into
officers that
custody,
came in.
which is exactly what the judge
Count
decided
1,
to
guilty
do.
second
You can
degree
see the
murder,
counts up
unintentional
on your
killing
screen
while
right
committing
now.
a felony.
The jury
Count 2, third
deliberating
degree
yesterday
murder,
afternoon, and then be
pertaining to the
deliberating again early this morning, but it was a
imminently
short period of
dangerous
time,
act
before we learned that
and
they had come to a
evincing
unanimous
a deprived
conclusion.
mind.
Clearly, they thought
Count
that the
3,
case
second
made
degree
by the
manslaughter, culpable
prosecution
negligence,
and perhaps
creating
that final
unreasonable risk.
closing argument,
Guilty,
that
guilty,
rebuttal
guilty.
from Jerry
Derek
Blackwell
Chauvin
when he
found
said to the
guilty
jury,
of all
it's as
murder
simple as
charges
what that 9-year-old
in George
girl, one of the
Floyd's
bystanders,
death.
said that she heard the paramedics say when they arrived there more than 9 minutes after that knee was put to George Floyd's neck. She said that she heard paramedics say, "Get off of him." Of course, in the hours and the days.
If the paramedics had to show up and tell dude to get off of his neck, yeah. So they are celebrating but what does all this mean with this judicial system, this criminal justice system that, you know, routinely and historically have locked up black people, and this dude might get 5 years. Might get 10. How many did Amber Geiger get? Yeah. All right, fam. Yeah, I'm trying to. Wow. They're showing George Floyd's family in a hotel room. People are celebrating on the streets, crying. What little we know about The system, family. Wow. So some people are putting up numbers. What do you think he's actually going to get? Kwan says 5 years. Universal Knowledge says 11 years. Danielle Kumani says 10 years. The Glamorous Hippie says 10. I say he's going to get 25 years and he's only going to serve 10. Code Zero says 10. A lot of Black God says 10. Smith Ducci says 5. Chauvin says 10. Jabez says 30 years. Demond Crook says 10. Rashawn says 10. Booby Greg says 10. Some people are saying 5. It's really 5 to 30, between 5 and 30 years. Right. All right, family. I'm going to contact my family, make sure they're safe. And if there's something, I'm supposed to be going on to speak to the Emory University students at 6. So I'm going to calm my spirit down so I can get on and assist this class. Love y'all to life, families. Professor Griff, I got to go. All right, peace. Revolution is not an event. It's a process. Serious minds attract serious minds. Seriously. Peace. Peace.
Trick knowledge, search, pistol training, and dry fire drills. Professor Griff, USCCA firearms instructor. Stealth, STELP. Safety, training, education, and legal protection. Search, pistol training, and dry fire drills. For training classes, email us at seriousmindsinfo@gmail.com. That's SIRIUSMINDZ info@gmail.com, or call 678-557-2919. Log on to www.professorgriff.me or www.seriousmindsinstitute.com. Thank you very much.